the kind that walks with you, not ahead of you, the kind that don't flinch when you bring your full story. You're right on time. You've walked with me through the early hours, unpacking the weight, the wounds, the wonder. And maybe now you feel a little lighter. Not fixed, but freer. That's the work of grace in motion. But you ain't alone on this path. There's more healing ahead, more truth to uncover, more compassion to cradle. So as the sun rises and this hour closes, I want to pass you on to someone who knows a thing or two about the science behind our scars. Karen Reeves. She's waiting in the next hour. She's got a way of breaking things down, so your heart don't have to carry it all alone. Stick with her. Keep breathing. Keep becoming. We're all just walking each other home. Child, before we begin, let's clear the table of some lies. Forgiveness, it ain't the same as forgetting. It ain't pretending it didn't happen. And it sure ain't letting people walk all over you. Some folks will tell you if you really forgave, you wouldn't still hurt. That's nonsense. You can forgive and still feel the sting. You can release what they did and still grieve what it cost you. Forgiveness don't mean reunion. You can wish someone well from far away, way, way away. Let me say it plain. Forgiveness is for your freedom, not for their comfort. You ain't excusing evil. You're refusing to carry its weight one day longer. That bitterness, that anger, it's heavy. And child, your soul wasn't built to carry bricks like that forever. Now take a deep breath. Let's talk about release. See, when you hold a grudge, it don't just sit in your hands. It leaks into your thoughts, your sleep, your joy. Forgiveness is when you unclench that fist, not because they deserve it, but because you do. You deserve peace. You deserve breath that don't hitch when their name comes up. You deserve mornings that ain't haunted by old stories. Forgiveness is a spiritual jailbreak, a sacred jailbreak, and the key's already in your hand. You just didn't know it till now? So go slow. This ain't a race. It's a release. And with each breath, we're going to unlock a little more. I'll be right here with you. All hour long. You hear me? Now I need you to picture this. You're holding a mirror, but it ain't aimed at them. It's pointed at you. Forgiveness, real forgiveness, starts there. It's the moment you realize you can't carry what they did and still reach for who you're becoming. You see, child, when you hold that mirror up, you start to see the ways hurt tried to make a home in you. The tension in your shoulders. The way your voice trembles when you talk about it. That hesitation before trust. That's what we're working on. Not them. You. We're building a sanctuary inside you that no lie, no betrayal, no wound can destroy. And every time you breathe deep and say, I don't have to carry this anymore, you reclaim holy ground. Mercy, baby. It ain't weakness. It's war. It's power. The kind that transforms. Let's carve a new story together. One breath, one truth at a time. Not the story where you're the victim stuck on replay, but the one where you're the survivor who rewrote the ending. You don't owe anyone silence, but you do owe yourself peace. And sometimes that peace comes when you stop telling yourself it was your fault. It wasn't. It never was. They may never apologize. They may never change. But your healing ain't on their to-do list. It's your gift to yourself. And forgiveness? That's the ribbon you tie around the whole thing. Not for them to open, but for you to finally close. So take this next breath with me, not to forget, but to remember who you are without the pain. We're walking this journey slow, child, because sacred things ain't rushed. Close your eyes for a moment. Let it rain. Not outside, in your soul. Sometimes healing sounds like sobbing into a pillow at 2 a.m. Sometimes it looks like canceling plans just to breathe. It don't have to be pretty to be sacred. You've been strong for too long. Strength ain't just standing tall. It's knowing when to sit down and feel it. Feel that ache? Don't rush past it. Let it speak. It's been holding on to words you never let out. Tell yourself what you needed to hear back then. Say, you didn't deserve that. Say, you did the best you could. Say, I forgive you for surviving. Tears ain't weakness, baby. They're watering the garden of who you're becoming. Let it rain. You've been carrying a bag that ain't yours. Guilt, shame, regret. Stuff they handed you and walked away. But you don't gotta keep dragging it behind you. Unpack it. Lay it down. That apology they never gave you, you don't need it to be free. That closure you never got, you don't need it to move on. You are not the story they told about you. You are not the lie you believed to survive. You are light, but you gotta drop that weight. And every time you say, I deserve to be whole, you lighten the load. So, what if today you stop asking for someone else to make it right and you start giving yourself permission to heal anyway? Freedom starts there, right there, with that decision. You ever feel like life kept on going, but left you standing outside the door? Like you could hear the laughter from the inside, but couldn't find your name on the guest list? Let me say this plain. You belong at the table, in the room, in the story. They don't gotta approve your invitation for God to set a place for you. Some of the most powerful people got seated after the feast was over, but still got served more than enough. Your worth ain't up for negotiation. Your healing ain't dependent on their welcome. So pull up a chair, child. Unpack your pain. Lay your joy down next to it. And feast on grace. There is a seat with your name on it. And the meal, custom made for your healing. You've been quiet too long. Not just in your mouth, but in your spirit. Muted your dreams. Silenced your truth. Out of fear. Out of survival. But there comes a time when your silence becomes the cage. And the only way out is your voice. Speak up for the child you were. Speak up for the truth you buried. Speak up for the freedom you crave. You don't need it to be perfect. You just need it to be yours. So say your name with dignity. Say your needs with boldness. Say no when you mean it. Say yes to what sets you free. Your voice is not too loud, and tomorrow it's just been unheard for too long. Time to let the world adjust. Let the silence break. Let your healing sound like truth. You've been moving so fast you forgot what stillness sounds like. Not laziness, not stuckness, but soul deep quiet. The kind where your breath becomes the loudest thing in the room. The kind where your heart says, I'm still here. Stillness ain't absence of motion. It's presence of meaning. It's sitting with what's real. Letting it wash over you, not to drown you, but to baptize you new. We live in a world that fears silence, fills every crack with noise. But healing don't happen in the chaos. It shows up in the hush. So give yourself a moment today. No fixing, no figuring, just being, still, safe, seen. Some burdens were never meant to be yours, but you carried them anyway, out of love, out of duty, out of fear. But it's time, child. Time to hand it over to God, to grace, to the ground if need be, so it don't weigh you no more. Let that grief rest. Let that guilt dissolve. Let that old story find its end. You don't owe your healing to the people who hurt you. You owe it to the version of you who never stopped hoping things could be better. So breathe in mercy. Exhale release. Say, this ain't mine to carry no more. And when you do, feel how light your soul becomes. Everybody want the testimony, but don't nobody want to walk through the test. You hear me? The middle part, that space between the pain and the promise, that's where most of us want to quit. It's not glamorous. Ain't no spotlight in the struggle. But the middle is where character gets carved, where tears turn into tools, where wounds become windows to grace, where your why gets clearer 'cause the how keeps failing. If you're in the middle, don't rush through it. Don't numb it. Don't fake like it don't hurt. Just keep stepping. Slow if you must, but steady. Faith don't need fireworks. It just needs your next breath. God works wonders in the waiting. And the middle? It's sacred ground too. You ever feel like you're too broken to be used? Like all your cracks make you unworthy of love? Let me tell you something real. God don't toss away chipped vessels. He pours glory through them. He lets the light shine where the cracks used to be. We spend so much time hiding the hurt, putting up polished faces, perfect stories, trying to look like we never bled. But healing don't require hiding. It asks for honesty. And honesty lives in the cracks. Your story ain't shameful. It's sacred. Not despite the pain, but through it. So bless your broken places. Name your healing out loud. And let the grace flow through every space you once tried to cover. That's where the miracle gets in. You ever closed the book too early? Thought the story was over 'cause the pain was loud? But what if I told you God ain't done yet? See, grace don't operate on our timelines. It shows up late by human standards, but right on time for the soul. You may feel like you're sitting in ashes, but ashes are just the soil of rebirth and sorrow. That's just the prelude to strength. You think you're stuck in the ending, but heaven's still writing. There's breath in your body, so there's purpose in your pain. Don't rush the process. God's still shaping, still revealing, still restoring. And when He's done, what broke you will bless somebody else. Ain't it funny how the deepest wisdom don't come from mountaintops, but valleys? See, the low places, they're not punishment. They're preparation. Down there, you learn how to pray with no script, how to praise when nothing looks pretty. You learn about people too. Who stays when you're stripped bare, who shows up when there's no spotlight. And most of all, you meet a version of yourself you didn't know existed. Stronger, softer, wiser. So if you're in the low place today, don't curse it. Ask it what it came to teach. 'Cause sometimes the valley is the classroom where God teaches His favorite lessons. Grief ain't a villain, it's a visitor. It don't come to destroy, it comes to reveal. Reveal what mattered, what still matters, what you're still carrying, even when the world tells you to move on. We're too quick to try and silence grief, stuff it, schedule it, spiritualize it. But grief don't work on a clock, child. It breathes in waves, and every wave is a message from your soul, saying, this mattered, so let it breathe. Don't rush to be okay. Let your tears do their holy work. Grief is love with nowhere to go. So give it a place to rest. Let it be seen. And slowly your heart will learn how to carry the weight without losing the wonder. Now let's talk about forgiveness, not the pretty kind, the slow kind. Forgiveness that feels like stretching a cramped heart that cracks open pride, just wide enough for grace to slip through. Sometimes you don't forgive all at once. You forgive in layers, one memory at a time, one ache at a time. And that's okay. Forgiveness don't mean forgetting. It means releasing the right to stay bitter, not for them, but for you, so you can breathe again, so you don't keep drinking poison and calling it protection. Take your time, but take the step. Bitterness is a prison you lock yourself in. Forgiveness is the key. You give to your own soul. You ever notice how birds still sing after the storm? That's no accident. They don't wait for the sun. They sing through the clouds. Because joy ain't circumstantial. It's spiritual. There's still a song inside you. Maybe it's soft now. Maybe it's buried under bills, broken promises, and the echo of old betrayals. But it's there. Your joy didn't die, it just got quiet. It's waiting on your permission to rise again. You ain't gotta feel ready. You just gotta open your mouth, even if all that comes out is a whisper of hope. Praise in pain is the loudest kind. It tells the darkness you won't have the last word. So sing, child, even if your voice shakes. There's still a song, and it still matters. You can't fake fruit, not the kind that lasts. Real growth don't come from pretending. You're healed. It comes from touching the wound with truth. Bitterness, that's just unprocessed pain that turned into protection. But protection can become a prison when you don't know how to put it down. You gotta dig up the bitter roots, not to shame yourself, but to free yourself. And when you do, something wild happens. Your heart softens. Compassion grows. Clarity returns. Sweet fruit starts to bloom where hurt once lived. So, if you've been walking around with clenched fists and tired eyes, maybe it's time to stop fighting and start feeling. There's no shame in the bitterness, but don't let it steal your harvest. You're not too late. You're not too broke. You're not too far gone for grace to reach. I know what shame sounds like. It whispers, you should have known better. It yells, you missed your chance. But God's mercy don't run on your timeline. It ain't rationed out like oxygen in a burning room. It flows daily, hourly, by the minute. If you're still breathing, you're still eligible for healing. It's never too late to return to yourself, to turn pain into power, to turn regret into revelation.